China as the health infrastructure in the country is critically overburdened. A prominent government scientist has now acknowledged the towering case count in the country. China has recognized COVID statistics where 80% of the people in the country have been infected. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization maintains that China is making enormous progress and effort to every older adult being vaccinated against COVID-19. Dr. Ishwar Gilada, he joins me on the telecast. Finally, it looks like China is trying to make amends, being transparent at the situation that is on the ground in wake of the pandemic that has resurged in mainland, telling that 80% of the population has in fact been infected.
Yeah, I think it is OPEC transparency. If to have 80% of the population, that means almost 110 crore people to be infected. Even if they are infected in 110 days, you need 1 crore infection per day. And China has been giving initially 1,000, then 2,000, then up to 9,000, 14,000, thereafter stop reporting. And till recently, they never said that how many people are infected. I've been saying that Hong Kong is part of China territory. If China is not giving the numbers, it is not difficult to find out the numbers. You just have a Hong Kong number and extrapolate from Hong Kong, because it is a part of mainland China. It is a part of territory of China. And recently China said that they had 60,000 deaths in almost 2 or 3 weeks' time. To have 60,000 deaths, that means out of 1,000 people infected, one dies. You need to multiply by 1,000. So you had close to 6 crore people infected in that 1 month period. But still, to have almost 110 crore people to be infected, that means China is having a problem for last 1 month, 1.5 months or 2 months, daily giving infection around 1.5 to 2 crore. Then only we can have 110 crore people infected. Because as opposed to India, India had first wave, second wave, third wave. So every wave we had 10%, 20%, 30% population getting infected. But China locked down entirely China for 3 years. So barring their one area which was infected during the first part of the pandemic, which was even November and December 2019, thereafter China has been locked. So having this kind of infection, China had been hiding the numbers. WHO has been supporting China unnecessarily. All over the world, we have been watching what is happening in China, but China was not coming out with truth. But now their own official coming from the Department of Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
But what's also surprising and alarming at the same time, Dr. Gilada, is that the Chinese have opened up their borders and allowed for overseas travel without any quarantine guidelines, which is also affecting the world at large. And China is not really taking responsibility. 80% of the population, majority of them flying out from China to various parts of the world, which is a signal for the pandemic 2.0 to then be brought forth.
You see, currently, whether China opens or they don't open, whether we open to China or we don't open to China, it depends upon the country concerned. As far as India is concerned, India will not be affected by either China or from USA. India has been having only BA.2, which has been the subvariant of Omicron, and all XBB, etc. They are all sub-variant of BA.2. China has got BF.7. US has got BQ.1. They are all subvariants of BA.5. And fortunately for India, ever since we got Omicron, since last 1 year, we had only BA.2. And BA.2 did not allow entry to BA.4 and BA.5 in a big way. So India is not going to allow a lot of infections from
India is not allowing, but there are a majority of the countries across the globe that are allowing. So should there be a guideline? Okay. Should there be a ban that must be imposed by the World Health Organization that Chinese must not be allowed to travel across the countries without having quarantine policies and their RT-PCR tests to then be conducted? Colonel Shivdan Singh also on the telecast with me. So Colonel, if this is not bio-warfare by the Chinese, then what is?
See, China wants to show that nothing is abnormal in their country. I want to tell everybody that this coronavirus was being prepared in China's lab to fight biological warfare. in biological warfare, the various type of bacteria, disease bacteria are thrown in the enemy country, which China was preparing. But unfortunately, this got leaked from there, and the United Nations should have conducted a thorough search and thorough inquiry to pinpoint that who has spread corona in the world. But since China is a superpower, he has suppressed the proceedings of United Nations against China. And now,
sir, what is stopping the rest of the world to put quarantine restrictions on Chinese nationals entering into their borders, particularly when there is evidence? We have concrete data. Chinese themselves have said that 80% of the population has been infected by COVID. They've said 60,000 of their citizens have died within the span of 1 month, which is 30 days, because of COVID. And these are figures, mind you, we'll have to take with a pinch of salt, because the actual figures may have multiplied in numbers.
That's why I am telling that United Nations should come into the picture and should put restrictions on Chinese traveling without precautions. And other major powers in the world, like Russia, like USA, like other superpowers, they should raise this issue in United Nations to put restrictions on China. And it is a time when all nations should put their voice in United Nations to lay restrictions on Chinese.
Well, it remains to be seen whether that would turn out to be a reality. Of course, a case has been built and there needs to be pressure that needs to be mounted at a global level against the Chinese. But will Chinese be able to yet again circumvent this charge against them of spreading the pandemic second time over across the globe? They have been able to duck that charge in the last time. The entire world had to face this problem. Second time around, it looks like it's going to be easy for China to again duck the charge.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.